Hello, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Native News Update. It's Friday, April 15th. Many of the stories you'll hear here can be found at IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for today from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Joseph Medicine Crow, the last living war chief of the Crow tribe of Montana and a renowned Native American historian and anthropologist, has passed on to the spirit world on Sunday, April 3rd. He was 102. Medicine Crow was the last living person to have heard direct oral testimony from people who were present before the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876. His grandfather, White Man Runs Him, was among 6 Crow scouts for George Armstrong Custer. In 2009, President Obama presented Medicine Crow with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, citing his contributions as a World War II service member and the author of seminal works on Native American history. Joseph Medicine Crow graduated from Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon in 1938 and earned a master's degree in anthropology from the University of Southern California a year later, specializing in the effect of European culture on Native Americans. In 2003, the university awarded him an honorary doctorate. He attained the title of War Chief for a series of deeds performed during combat in World War II, including hand-to-hand combat with a German soldier whose life Medicine Crow spared. During the war, he wore an eagle feather under his helmet and war paint under his uniform. Arizona State Senator Carlyle Begay told a U.S. Senate committee April 6 that a bill to give Native American students school choice is the true essence of self-determination and self-empowerment that tribes are seeking. Begay was testifying in support of the bill by Senator John McCain that would let families redirect Bureau of Indian Education funds, $15,000 per pupil, toward tuition at other public and private schools, as well as toward tutoring and online courses. But other witnesses said that while they agreed with the goals of the Native American Education Opportunity Act, they could not support a bill that would divert funds from already underfunded BIE schools. Last year, Begay sponsored a bill in the Arizona legislature creating empowerment scholarship accounts that would allow state students to use public funding for school choice. The measure drew applications from 300 Native families within 4 weeks of its signing a year ago. But those children in BIE schools learned that the savings accounts did not apply to them. Begay, who pushed McCain to introduce the congressional bill, said the Native American Education Opportunity Act is not the entirety of the solution. It is simply just part of a solution. Native American musician Bill Miller is hospitalized in intensive care in Nashville, Tennessee after emergency surgery on Monday, April 11th, and again Thursday, April 14th. Miller underwent the surgery to treat several life-threatening blood clots in his heart, lungs, and legs. The 61-year-old Miller, who was born on the Stockbridge-Muncie Reservation near Shawnee, Wisconsin, is a multi-NAMI winner and 3-time Grammy winner. He is also a songwriter, activist, painter, and a world-class flute player. A Nashville resident since 1984, Miller has been touring recently in support of a collaboration album entitled Look Again to the Wind, Johnny Cash's Bitter Tears Revisited, on which he has the title track. Miller's management, 1680 Entertainment, released an update saying, "For over 30 years, Bill Miller's music and performances have fostered healing and positive growth for so many lives around the world. And it seems that many of you are channeling back that energy and mindful prayer back to him. After yesterday's surgery, Bill Miller is resting quietly and is in stable condition. We have been sharing the outpouring prayer of messages his fans and friends have offered, about 500,000 of them so far, and Bill is overwhelmingly grateful for your support." Students are working with a new professor, Mark Trahan, at the University of North Dakota to launch a multimedia news website that is called Indigenous News Network that will be covering Native American interests. Lisa Casares and Amber Guthmiller, a recent UND graduate in History and American Indian Studies, are reporters and editors for the project. Trahan has been at the UND as the Charles R. Johnson Endowed Professor of Journalism since August of last year. He was a finalist for the 1989 Pulitzer Prize for National Reporting as a co-author of a series on federal Indian policy, is a member of the Idaho Shoshone-Bannock tribe, and writes his own news blog at TrahanReports.com. Casares says she hopes Trahan's connections will be useful in drawing writers and sources. She also hopes to work with contributors from other Native American news outlets. For those interested in contributing to the Indigenous News Network, you can email indigenousnewsnetwork@gmail.com. Erin Carpella has created a series of comprehensive tribal maps showing the largest number of tribal nations ever to be documented in the Western Hemisphere. They are also the only maps to detail traditional names that tribes called themselves in their own languages. In his latest release, he introduces the new Caribbean Tribal Nations map. This map marks his completion of the mapping of the entire Americas. He has traveled to roughly 300 tribal communities and to hundreds of museums, historic sites, and indigenous events for his research. To learn more about his maps, you can visit tribalnationsmaps.com. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.